Alright guys, welcome to APUSH History. If you were not here during Culture Camp Week, this is an introduction to the course and to me as a teacher. So sit tight and we're going to go through this. And if you were here for Culture Camp, you've seen this already. So you don't really need to watch it again. If you weren't here and you're curious about me, you want to learn a little bit more, sit back and enjoy. Agenda, we can go ahead and skip through this just really quick. You're going to intro me, you're going to meet me, you're going to meet the course. The tour of the platforms is another video. How-to video review is another video. And this was something that you had to be in class to do. So, an introduction to Mr. Cavazos, to me. So, a little bit about me. I've been teaching at MOPA for the last 2 years. I was teaching 8th grade U.S. history. So, this is going to be a little bit different. This is my 5th year overall teaching. I used to work down in the RGV where I'm from, teaching special needs kids. And now I am here and I love it, and I'm teaching history, which I love, and we'll get into all that in a second. A fun fact from the session that we talked about, I did not name my own dog. This is her. Her name is Callie. She was a rescue that my mother did, but this dog, she did not agree with the dog she already had. A lot of playful puppy biting and stuff, and it actually tore that other dog's lymph node, and he was fine, but he had to get surgery, and it was very expensive, and the other dog was not a big fan of her. So I ended up having to take her with me, take care of her, and she's been mine ever since, and I love her. This is where I'm from, the RGV down here in the very, very southern tip, that is Brownsville. These are my vanity license plates, which is also from the teaser that we did on Kahoot. These are real license plates, I really have them. These are my license plates numbers, but this is the real license plate that I own. And that's me fishing because I love fishing. It's one of my hobbies, it's one of the things I really enjoy doing. Which brings us to the Google Classroom question. If you've already been on Google Classroom, you've seen this post. This was the first grade, easiest grade you'll get in this class. All you have to do is tell me your name, give me one of your hobbies, your favorite movie or TV show, and if you could hang out at a cookout with historical figures, who would it be? At a historical barbecue. So you guys know my name, Mr. Cavazos. Fishing. I love fishing. Fishing and hunting specifically, I really enjoy. Wading in the bay is what I like to do. So that's when you walk into the water, waist deep or worse, and you're just fishing from the water. I love it, from within the water. My favorite movie is a movie called Unforgiven from 1992. That is a Western, but it's kind of a post-Western. It's not a classical Western. It's a very different type of Western. It's an older school movie. But if you're into that stuff, if you like Red Dead Redemption 2, for example, Red Dead Redemption 2 borrows a lot of things from movies like Unforgiven. Not necessarily that movie specifically, but movies like it. So it's awesome. My favorite TV show is a show called Justified. It ran for 5 years. It is a crime procedural show, but it's based around a U.S. Marshal. And the author whose character this is, I really enjoy. It's Elmore Leonard. So great show. If you like crime shows, check it out. You might enjoy it. And my historical barbecue would have 3 people. Teddy Roosevelt, who's my favorite president. Douglas MacArthur, who, if you don't know Douglas MacArthur, he was like a diva World War II general. He had a hat that was non-regulation. He always had a pipe. He walked around with a field marshal baton that they gave him in the Philippines. He's a unique figure, but I really enjoyed him. He really liked fighting. And then another guy named Aldo Leopold, who was a conservationist, very instrumental into things like national parks, animal rights, hunting, fishing, things like that. So the reason I picked these 3 is because they are like, the other 2 guys are like the 2 sides of Teddy Roosevelt that everybody knows about, right? The conservationist and the fighter, the warmonger, people have called him sometimes. So I just feel it'd be fun to be in the room while they're having that conversation, or be in the backyard, right? So, those are my choices. And lastly, why is history important? You guys might be thinking that. You guys probably have asked other history teachers this. And I'm going to tell you. So, the baseline is, for me, history makes us who we are. And in order to explain that, I'm going to tell you a quick, short story about my grandmother. When she was growing up in the late 50s and early 60s, she was a migrant farm worker. Right? So she lived in the United States, and she would drive from place to place, work in the fields during the day, go to school, all that stuff, and struggle. She talks about all the time seeing signs like this everywhere. Her dad having to say, oh no, we can't go there, we got to keep driving, we got to look a little further, things like that. And just so you know, her dad, my great-grandfather, fought in World War II. He fought in the 88th Infantry in Italy. So he did some fighting. He has a Bronze Star for valor. It didn't matter then, right? Back then was not necessarily the best. This is her now, though. This picture, I believe, was taken at a beach in Costa Rica where she was chilling because she worked hard, still managed to go to school, and got to where she was. Her dealing with this and overcoming it allowed me to grow up very different, right? Look at me. I'm wearing an awful lot of denim for a summer in Texas, I'm assuming. Fishing from a very early age, so that way as an adult I can still enjoy hobbies and passions. I didn't have to worry about working in fields. I didn't have to see signs like this. And that is in the way that history makes us who we are. We are all standing on somebody's shoulders, whether they be in our family or the people that came before us or these figures that we know of from the past. So history is really important, and I really love it. I promise you everything I tell you will be true, no matter how weird or crazy it sounds. And I hope you enjoy that ride as well. Alright guys, so there's about 33 weeks to your AP exam. Alright, as of right now, your exam is on May 6, 2021, and we will move on as if this is the date until they tell us otherwise. Alright, so you have less than 120 or around 120 classes with holidays and everything else in order to get your AP exam self ready, essentially. No time to waste. Every day counts. The faster we go through our content, the faster we can start reviewing for the exam. So make sure you're in the class every day and ready to focus, especially while we're virtual and when we're in the classroom as well. Again, the code to Google Classroom. Cannot stress enough. Make sure you're there. That's where your assignments will be. Google Classroom. It's right here. If you need help, message me on Teams or email me so we can get this done. You need to be here. Need to be here. Your textbook resource. The only thing I'll say about the textbook, we will not use it a lot. I'm not one of those teachers who likes to open the textbook, read, and then close it and class is over. But when we use it, it'll be as a resource. It'll be sections of it. It'll be things like that. It is a PDF on Teams and in Google Classroom, and it is searchable. So you can Control F and type in who or what you're looking for, and the response should come up in the textbook. It'll take you right to that page, which is awesome. Class rules. Rule number 1, do not lie. Don't lie to me. It is easier when you tell the truth. I will be more lenient on you if you're telling the truth. If you give me a lie and then I find out you lied, it's just going to be worse. I'm not going to be inclined to help you out at all. So just tell the truth from the start. It's always easier, especially academically. Don't cheat. We can tell if you're doing vocabulary words and you just copy it from Wikipedia. I'll know. I always know. It's very easy to tell. So at the very least, put stuff in your own words. Make it your own. Don't lie. Don't cheat. Have your materials ready. Black, blue pens, pencils, highlighters, in-class notebook, everything you might need. Don't act a fool. Behave appropriately. You guys know how to act. You've been awesome during Culture Week. I don't see that changing. Respect the rights of others verbally and physically. This is super important, whether it's a chat box virtually or in person in class. Somebody has an opinion. Don't shoot them down. Don't get up angry. Just hear them out, and we move on. All right. Everybody has opinions. Everybody's got rights. Treat everybody fairly. Respect the classroom. Again, we're not in a classroom, but when we get there, respect it. I know you guys don't be right on desks. Don't be right on anything. Pick up after yourself. This is especially true in the classroom, but it's true at home too. Don't leave a mess. Pick up after yourself. So y'all don't have mates. At least not at school. Maybe you have one at home. I don't know. Students must participate to be successful APUSH students. Whether it's typing an answer in the chat box, whether it's coming up mute and reading or saying something. Everything I ask you to do, I ask you to do for a reason. All right? I'm not here to waste your time. I'm here to get you ready for the AP test. So if you're willing to do that, if you want to do that, if you want to succeed in this class, participate. It will help you. I promise. And I'll tell you what, if something's not helping you and I notice, we probably won't do it for very long. So trust me, it will help you. In the long run, it will all help. I've done this for a couple of years now. I know what I'm doing. Students shall take care of personal business before or after the class period. Don't be texting, don't be on Facebook, don't be playing Warzone in the background. Be in class while we're in class. Handle all that stuff before or after. 2 notebooks. Now, while we're at home virtual, this isn't as big of a deal as it will be, because a lot of our assignments, our homework specifically, are going to be turned in digitally. But you need an in-class notebook for things like notes, things like vocabulary, do-nows, etc. Exit tickets, all that good stuff. but you also need at-home notebooks for your homework assignments. Whether it be weekly breakdowns, video reviews, HIPPO documents, any other projects or things I give you, that's where I want them to be. These get checked separately. These are separate, like, check grades. I don't grade class notes, but I do need to know that you know what you're doing. If you come in with questions, I will be more than happy to help you. But the first thing I'm always going to ask you for is, let me see your notes, so I know where your gap is. If you don't have any notes, it's going to look bad on you, and it's going to show me you weren't really focusing in class. So make sure you have notes, right? Now, however you take notes, make sure you take them. I'll show you good ways to do them. Make sure you take notes in your own way as well. Now, homework will break down into 3 main styles. You'll have video reviews, you'll have HIPPO documents, and you'll have this week in review, essentially, like weekly breakdowns. 3 different styles, 3 different speeds, and we break them down here, right? Video reviews will require you to watch a couple of historical videos. During the video, take quick bullet point notes. There will be a video on how to do each one of these separately on its own, so I don't want to spend too much time on it. Here, just know that video reviews are about watching videos, taking notes, and then reviewing and summarizing. Weekly breakdowns are about breaking down each lesson in the week and doing it as a one-pager, hopefully. We're going to try to fit it all as a one-pager. And then HIPPO documents are per unit. You'll get a set of documents. By the end of the unit, you need to HIPPO all of them. And I will be sure to check them every single time to make sure they're solid. And it's going to be there as kind of like a resource for you to have at all times. There will be a video on how to HIPPO documents later on if you still need help with that. And you can always ask me for any specific questions on specific documents. Late work policies. All work must be turned in on time. All of it. If it is late, it is half credit. Half credit is better than a 0, but it's still just half credit. You can make up late assignments for full credit each quarter by showing up to a tutoring session. Show up. If you show up, you talk to me. We'll talk about what you can do, whether it's from my class or if you really need to work on another class's work. Show up for a tutoring session and I will replace that grade. Now, unit exam retakes, we will discuss when it is time. As far as I know, we are using Illuminate, but I would not want to give you information that is wrong. So when it comes time for unit exams, we will talk about what you are doing. And then all work must be completed by the end of each quarter. Once the quarter is up, no more makeups. You cannot make up something from quarter 1 if it is already quarter 2. So keep that in mind. Stay focused, guys, and I know we're going to do awesome this year. Thank you for watching, and if you have any more questions, message me on Teams or send me an email. Thanks, guys.